Right, so today I'm going to demonstrate how to play the middle on the new Minsk map in World of Tanks. Um, it's a pretty new map for a lot of players, so I think most people are unsure how to play different areas of this map. And I think the middle of this map is one of the least well understood areas. It's not the most straightforward. You've got this long ridgeline which goes all the way up there, um, which both sides have access to, which is great because symmetrical maps are a lot more enjoyable than really bad map design. Um, so I'm in the Sherman Jumbo, but I mean the tank isn't really that important when trying to use this position. You can do it in any really any tank. Preferably, you should have a turret. Um, I think TDs, especially if they don't have any armor, this position just won't work for them unless it's late game. Um, but meds and lights will benefit most from this, at least in the lower tiers. Once you reach sort of like tier 8, tier 9, I'd say the more mobile heavies, if they have some turret armor, can definitely play this area as well. So yeah, we're gonna. One of the main strategies with playing the middle is you want to poke on the enemy team. If you can get some shots off with as little poking as possible, that's great. But another thing you can do is if you can't get any shots off, you can just by poking a little bit, you can entice the enemy TDs to shoot at you, and get some spotting done on them. So we see the E25, and I'm kind of just asking my team to nail him for me. And another good thing about the middle of this position is that you get to spot loads of the guys, the lurkers who are playing down the E line on the 7 to 0 line, and you can just spot them. If you, as I was doing earlier, if you push up onto this ridge and use I might do it again here actually. If you sort of edge your tank up, you can get some shots on those guys. If they're being way too aggressive and pushing down towards these buildings here, you can easily get some shots into their sides. It's a great way for farming damage. Yeah, so this position's really strong. It's just not very well played a lot of the time. And you can do exactly what I'm doing to this VK if they push too aggressively into you. You can just nail them with whatever gun you have. Like the derp gun just is funny, I think. But if you had a regular regular like DPM sort of AP gun, then that would also work. So this part of the map also has these two interesting tunnels underneath the bridge here, and these are just death traps. Avoid them at all costs. They are so bad because this Cromwell is demonstrating it quite nicely for us. We have a VK over there, a Hellcat behind him, an MT25, and myself, and we're all funneled into shooting this guy. And he can't escape. So, I tracked him, I knock him out, but like, they're just terrible. So don't try and use them, really. Because this map is fairly symmetrical, if we try and push through the same, the enemy TDs that are located at A5 get some really good shots into you. So, yay for map balance, but no, never use those tunnels. They are banned. They're banned. They're gone. So we're up to 860 damage and 850 assistance damage. We're in a tier 7 game, so it's not like we're massively matched against like overwhelming strength. And now that the middle is cleared out over here and our team has won this side, uh, because we're in the middle, because we're playing such an open area, anyone that the team on the left side spots, we can get shots into. And this is exactly the same if you're playing from the other side. You know, if your team wins and comes through that way and they start going round and they come through here, you can sit on this side of the ridge and shoot any of the TDs and artillery that's back here. So that's good. Just trying to rack up, rack up the assistance damage, rack up the spotting. At this stage, there isn't really anyone who's going to spot me apart from the C-25, so I'm quite comfortable sitting on top of the ridge rather than poking in and out from underneath it. And now that pretty much the whole this whole side of the map, the non-heavy side of the map, is cleared out, we're free to just push into the city. We're still full HP. We gained an extra 500 assistance damage since I last totaled it up. And yeah, we're just free to... I mean, they've lost completely. And we're free to just push in, get some shots on the remaining tanks. It's just a mop-up job, really. Their team's lost. And you're going to see that the enemy actually does a pretty successful defense of the A line by putting the rest of our team really in a crossfire. The KV-3 sits at A7, SU-100 sits around A3, and it's pretty successful. But I mean, the only reason that they actually hold down anyway is because they are the two top tier. It's a top tier heavy tank and a top tier tank destroyer, both of which are quite strong. So the middle's quite a strong position for this map, if played correctly. You have to watch out for TDs on the whole of the A line, and then also a couple of TDs sitting back here on the C line, in this middle area here. Lots of bushes and hills that they can use for cover. And then of course you've always got to worry about artillery. They can definitely hit the high part of this ridge here, but I think you can use if you sit right underneath the ridgeline, you should be okay. Game's pretty much over here. So something I didn't talk about earlier was on either side of this ridgeline, if you don't have much gun depression but you still want to try and get some shots on to the other side, instead of driving up and poking over, you can drive up this way, and because the ridgeline peters out, the fact that you don't have as much gun depression doesn't matter as long as you have some form of turret armor. You can safely poke, put some shots, spot some tanks, without having to force your entire tank over the ridgeline to get some shots straight on ahead. But yeah, that's an attempt to illustrate how to play the middle of Minsk. So yeah, I mean, it's a fairly new map. Lots of people are unsure how to play it. So I hope this has been helpful, and I'll see you around.